Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick little follow-up video that I'm probably going to post to YouTube, linked on my other video I made of the installation of the I think it's the XB switchback Morimoto's amber and white fog lights. They are great fog lights. I haven't had a video basically to follow up on how well they perform, but they do very well and I don't have any complaints. The only thing that would be different, they don't really shine as far and up into the ditches as my old stock ones. However, they are a fog light. They're not a spotlight. So beautiful light pattern. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the switchback part. But anyways, I had issues in my previous video I addressed for the wiring harness issue. So I just wanted to show a little follow-up video. And basically I ordered these two harnesses, one for each side, 20 bucks on Amazon. There's another link I had linked on that video for another company. But they're, yeah, simple. Basically, I think it's an H1 to an L1B connector. And that goes, and then basically you just have to put your pins from your factory or from the Morimoto's. And you put, actually I put them on here just to make sure they fit, but they do. These come with, this connector, this part right here comes with the actual Morimoto's. And you just have to put the pins to where they match up to the factory, which this goes to the factory harness. So then there's no, it's just plug and play. And I wish they would have mentioned that. Maybe they did. I never did go back to look. But that being said, not a big deal. I had to wait a couple weeks. And I temporarily wired them in just to see how they worked. And they did good. So now I'm just going to do this in the shop. I'm in a shop right now. I have some time. It's after Christmas. And I just wanted to quickly do a follow-up video to show everybody how easy it is. So anyway, that being said, I'm going to put this connector from the one that I bought onto the Morimoto's and make sure the pins are lined up correctly to the factory. And then I'm going to plug it in, make sure it all works. Okay, so I got her all figured out, got her all clipped together. So one little thing to point out here. So my new harness that I got, now I don't really know the reason behind this, and it doesn't make any sense to me. But that could be because it's just a cheap Chinese product. I don't know. But anyway, that being said, this L1B plug, it is specifically, I mean, it says for Toyota, but I also know it's for Honda because it's an L1B plug for Honda. So I found an issue, but I don't think it's going to be a big deal. This collar comes up and it goes over top of the factory plug from Honda. So in here, I put some tape on it because, which doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. Anyways, this needs to be a little bit longer and deeper. It does clip, but it doesn't make any sense because where you got the weather, well, you got the weather stuff here, the weather rubber right in here, right? That is not fully covered. It doesn't go over it completely. However, it does definitely do it enough. I don't think it's going to be an issue. So I just put some tape over it just to kind of keep the weather out of it. I don't think it's going to be an issue at all. But time will tell. There's not a ton of moisture back here. Anyway, it does seal, like it does go in, but I don't understand why this would be so different. Why wouldn't they just make this longer and get rid of this silly, like, rubber around here? I guess if worst case scenario, you could just take an X-Acto knife and shave this down a little bit, and it only has to go about that much, and then just shave it off. But I'm not even gonna bother with that. Not a big deal. Other than that, it plugged in very nicely. Weird thing is, once this plugs in on this particular harness, this pigtail, it ends up being reverse here, because inside here it's different. This is actually now red, so from the Morimoto, red to black on this harness though. And then it's Morimoto black to red on this harness, of course. Now, obviously when it goes through all this, it would be the same way to convert. It would be the black to black and yellow to red, but not a big deal. It doesn't really matter. That's why you test it before you put these pins in from this harness that comes from the Morimoto. Before you put these pins in, just take them, plug them into this harness, and that's how I found out right away. I just turned the lights on and I went, oh, they're not working. So I swapped them. I put the red to the black, that's on this side, right? You can see that. And then I swapped it. Anyways, that's not a big deal. Other than that, it plugs in really nicely, nice and tight here. And the fog lights work. Absolutely, that's all I care about. And this isn't going to be a big deal. I just put tape around it. I put a nice little coat of tape just around the connector here. It's sealed, you know, on the back side here too, right? So that's not a big deal. This is the factory plug. It was like that. And I put some extra tape around the loom that comes up to here just because, why not? Anyway, keeps it all buttoned up. So yeah, I'm just gonna probably leave it. I'll probably end up just tying it up in here, whatever. So there's no like hard kinks in it, you know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, it worked out. So that'll work. That harness will work for this job. But like I said, there's one little weird thing there, not a big deal. And the wires are reversed on this plug on this side, but not a big deal. Nice thing is I can just unplug this after if I ever had to. Just boom, boom, unplug it. Take this pigtail off, just take this right off here, and I can go right back to stock now. If I had to, or I'm selling this vehicle in 4 years or whatever, I can take these because I got a 10-year warranty on these Morimotos. So, you know what I mean? Like I can just take these off. I mean, I could just leave them with the vehicle, but I can take them off. They're not that cheap, right? They're over $300, and I can just swap them out to my next Honda if I buy another Honda or a Toyota or whatever that has the same factory fog lights. That's an easy swap. They're not that hard to take out, and I can just put the old ones back in, factory bulbs, right? So anyway, that being said, I'm going to do the other same to the other side. It's the exact same procedure. So I turn the headlights, the fog lights on, everything works fine. And that's as simple as I can say it. So anyway, have a good day. Thanks for watching. And installation is complete.